So today we are at the New Gallery in New York, here to see the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer 1, painted by Gustav Klimt. So right here we are seeing the renovated brick and limestone mansion that was built by the same architects that built the New York Public Library, and it's owned by the art dealer Serge Zabarski and Ronald S. Lauder. So the portrait that we're going to see today, you can see right on the side of the building here, and it is the portrait by Klimt. It was completed in 1907 and it is oil, silver, and gold on canvas. So we're just going to go to the front entrance here, and this is what it looks like as you first walk in. And we can definitely tell that it is more of a mansion, less of your typical art gallery museum look. So here is the gallery space. This is not a white cube type art gallery, but instead more of a historical art gallery atmosphere. So when you first walk in, it seems more like you're entering a home and visiting someone's private collection of works. The piece we're looking at is right here, and it's filled with a lot of other Klimt pieces. So Ronald Lauder is very into Austrian and German pieces. So this is his main focus, and all of the pieces within his gallery here are going to be from Austria or Germany. So just looking on the left of a portrait here is going to be another portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer. And this is really interesting because she is the only woman that Klimt has ever painted twice. And to see both of these paintings in the same room is a very rare occurrence, and it is actually a very special thing to be able to see them here together. So he doesn't own the second painting, and this exhibition, the Klimt and the Women of Vienna's Golden Age, 1900s to 1918, only happened for a short amount of time. So if you go now, you won't be able to see both together, but he owns this portrait here, so it will be up for as long as he wants it to be up. So here's another view of just the painting in general with a human next to it. You can tell that they don't have a super intricate frame around the painting. You can see here on the walls that it is quite beautiful and it has this pattern to it, but just around the painting, they kept it simple with this white built-in frame here, just to not distract from Klimt's already very complex pieces. The entire timeline of this piece is also actually known. So it was owned by Ferdinand Bloch-Bauer from 1907 to 1937 until centrally seized by Nazis and ending up in Dr. Erich Führer's hands by 1938. And it stayed in an Austrian museum, the Belvedere Gallery, for about 60 years while the family of Ferdinand Bloch-Bauer tried to get it back. And this was a super large legal issue that ended up in the American Supreme Court, but they did eventually get it back and have it on display now as per Adele's will. So Ferdinand and Adele Bloch-Bauer were at the time very avid art collectors, and they were obviously very big Klimt fans, and they soon became good friends with the painter, to the point where people were saying that Adele was Klimt's secret lover, even though she was already married to somebody else. So looking here, you can see that it is quite a beautiful work. During the 6 years he painted this artwork, he actually spent time in Ravenna, Italy, and there he visited the 6th century church of San Vital, and he was super impressed by the rich and decorated Byzantine mosaics there. So you can see that within these jewel tones, as well as, of course, the gold and silver. So Klimt was known for his golden period, but he wasn't always so known for this. All right, so he did have a very academic style in his younger years, and he had a very heavy influence of Hans Mackart on him. But he did start to experiment more and start to play around with the flatness and these patterns, and ended up with these beautiful pieces. So Klimt has many of these golden pieces, but this is probably arguably one of the most famous ones. And if we look at it compositionally, we can tell that the figure is located 2/3 to the right, and this is a very telltale sign of the rule of thirds. Overall, this painting has a lot of elements in it, but if we look down here, this little green space of negative space, it kind of pushes our eyes upwards. That, as well as her triangular form of the dress that not only grounds her, but these leading lines push us up as well towards her face and her hands that are clasped quite delicately, and they are the only forms in this piece that are rendered in 3D, so it makes sense that he wants to push our eyes towards that. If you look at color, we can see that these reds here are used to push out the reds in her face, and the green here at the bottom as well is here to kind of contrast the red. So overall, this piece uses all of these elements to showcase Adele's strength and power as a prominent woman, but as well to show her femininity and softness. Although the color palette is quite bold with the gold, silver, and jewel tones, the way her face and expression is painted depicts a vulnerability, as well as the delicate way that her hands are posed. Klimt in this piece shows how Adele's strong personality blends well with her beauty, showing us how he saw her in his eyes. So it's quite a beautiful piece. And thank you for listening to my guided tour. I hope you learned something.